Okay, so imagine this. You're playing a game, but the world around you, it's like it's alive, it's changing, it's responding to everything you do, not just, some pre-programmed event, but a truly like dynamic experience built by AI in real time. That's what we're going deep on today.
Sounds pretty wild.
It is wild. The research paper is called Creating New Games with Generative Interactive Videos.
Yeah,
And it's a fascinating look at where gaming could be headed.
definitely. I think this paper it's tackling a really big problem in AI game development, and that's something called scene generalization.
Okay, scene generalization.
Yeah, so you see AI right now, it can like recreate existing games, right? Like Pac-Man or
Yeah, the
the
classics.
classics or even levels from, the SNES games, but it really struggles to come up with like unique worlds on its own.
So it's like AI can master the hits of the past, but can it compose a whole new symphony? That's kind of the question, right?
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting about this approach with GameFactory. Instead of training the AI on, limited game specific data, they're using these like video diffusion models that are trained on massive data sets. We're talking like the entire internet's worth of videos.
Wow. Okay. So giving the AI like a much broader visual vocabulary than just game graphics.
Right. Much broader.
Okay, I'm following so far, but how do you go from like generating these scenes to like an actual playable game that seems like a huge jump?
It is a huge jump. And this is where things get really interesting. So they use a custom Minecraft data set.
Minecraft?
Yeah, GF Minecraft, they call it to teach the AI action control. But there's a twist. They specifically avoided using data from human players.
Oh, interesting. Why is that important? Wouldn't human gameplay data be the most realistic training material?
You would think, right? But human players, we tend to, we favor certain strategies, certain actions, right? We fall into patterns. So if you train AI on that data, you're kind of limiting its potential. You're boxing it in to those predictable patterns.
So to get truly innovative gameplay, you almost have to let the AI explore uncharted territory.
Exactly. You gotta let it go a little wild. And that's what they did. They created this system that randomized actions in Minecraft. So like moving, jumping, placing blocks, the AI was exposed to this like balanced distribution of all these different action combinations, even the really unusual ones.
So the AI is like running wild in Minecraft, learning to control actions, but how do they connect that to generating like new worlds?
Okay, so that's where the action control module comes in. It's integrated into this type of AI model called a transformer, which is really good at understanding sequences like the steps you take in a game.
So it's learning to connect player input to changes in the game world.
Exactly.
Okay, but wouldn't the AI just generate endless Minecraft clones even with all this training?
Yeah, that's a challenge, right? And the researchers, they came up with a pretty clever solution, a multi-phase training strategy.
Okay, hit me with it.
So first they used a technique called LoRa Ray to fine-tune the model on Minecraft data, basically teaching it the general style, the look and feel of Minecraft without overwriting all that broader visual knowledge it had from the internet.
So like teaching it the language of Minecraft, but not making it forget everything else it knows?
Exactly, the language of Minecraft. Then they focus specifically on training that action control module. They froze all those style parameters so the AI is learning how to control the game without getting fixated on that specific visual style.
A crucial separation, train the style, then train the control.
Exactly. And then in the final phase, they remove those LoRa weights during inference, leaving just that action control module so the AI can theoretically control any style, any game using the knowledge it's gained.
Okay, this is getting good. But the big question remains, can it actually create a playable game? What happens when they unleash this trained AI?
Well, the results are pretty surprising.
All right, so last we left off, we had this AI. It's trained on massive data sets. It can control actions in a virtual world. But the big question is, can it actually turn all of that into a playable game?
Right, and the researchers put it to the test, and the results, they're actually pretty remarkable. Not only did the AI master like those basic Minecraft controls, like, moving around, placing blocks, but it also learned to react to things like collisions.
So meaning if it runs into a wall in this generated world, it doesn't just glitch out or something.
Exactly. It stops just like you would in a real game, so it's actually demonstrating that it understands the basic physics of the environment.
Okay, so it's not just spitting out pretty pictures, it's actually starting to grasp how those pictures like interact with each other?
Yeah, it's getting.
That's cool.
And it gets even more interesting. They took the mouse control that the AI learned in Minecraft, so, looking left and right, and they applied that to a racing game.
Wait, a racing game that's completely different from like navigating a blocky world like Minecraft.
Totally different, but the AI was able to transfer that skill seamlessly. The same controls it used to adjust its view in Minecraft, it could then use to steer a car in this racing game.
So it's learning something fundamental about control, not just memorizing specific game mechanics.
Right, and that's what's so exciting about this. It opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah, that's huge.
It suggests that this AI could potentially adapt to all sorts of different game genres, maybe even genres we haven't even thought of yet.
This is starting to sound less like game development and more like world building.
I think that's a really good way to put it, and that's exactly what the researchers are proposing. They believe GameFactory isn't just a game generator, it's what they call a generalizable world model.
Okay, break that down for me. What does a generalizable world model even mean?
Okay, so it means that this technology could have applications way beyond gaming. Think about things like training AI for autonomous driving or robotics.
Wait, hold on. From video games to self-driving cars, how does that connection even work?
So, to train an AI to drive right, you need to expose it to tons of real world scenarios, traffic, pedestrians, different weather conditions. But gathering all that data, it's expensive and it can be dangerous.
Yeah, not to mention the ethical concerns of like letting an untested AI loose on the roads.
Exactly. So, imagine using Game Factory to create a super realistic driving simulator.
Ah, I see. So the AI can practice in a safe virtual environment, but it's one that's still really complex and unpredictable.
Precisely. And because the AI that built the simulator has this huge understanding of the visual world, it can generate this huge variety of scenarios, constantly challenging the AI driver.
It's almost like training a pilot in a flight simulator before they ever get in a real cockpit.
Exactly. And the same principle could apply to robotics. You could train a robot to navigate a complicated warehouse or perform surgery, all within a virtual environment that Game Factory creates.
This is starting to feel like a real paradigm shift. We're talking about using video games as a training ground for AI that can then interact with the real world.
It's a really powerful concept with huge potential, but of course, it raises some important questions too.
Yeah, questions about the limitations of this technology and what it means for the future of AI. That's where we'll pick up in part 3 of our deep dive. We've been talking about AI building these games and even like training other AIs in these simulated worlds. It's pretty mind-blowing, but it also feels like we're getting into some pretty deep philosophical territory here.
Yeah, absolutely. This technology, I mean, it really raises all these questions about creativity, about control, even about what it means to play a game.
Yeah, like for example, if an AI is the one creating the game world, the challenge is the story. Like, where does human agency even fit into all of that? Are we just along for the ride?
That's a big question. And some people, they argue that AI is just a tool, right? It's an extension of our own creativity. We're still the ones setting the goals, giving it that initial input. The AI is just helping us explore possibilities that maybe we wouldn't have thought of on our own.
But what about like the potential for the AI to surprise us, to create something totally unexpected? Does that kind of mess with our idea of authorship?
It definitely blurs the marks for sure. If an AI comes up with like a brilliant game mechanic or some crazy plot twist, who really gets the credit? Is it the programmer who wrote the code or the user who gave the AI the prompts, or is it the AI itself?
Yeah, and that brings up some pretty thorny legal questions too about copyright and intellectual property.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it goes beyond the legal stuff too. It makes us rethink what we actually value in creativity, right? Is it originality? Is it innovation, emotional impact? If an AI can do all of those things, does it really matter that it's not human?
It's like we're entering this new era of art and entertainment where the lines between creator and creation are getting really blurry.
Yeah, totally. And it's not just authorship either. There are questions about control. If an AI is building a game like in real time, reacting to our every move, can we be sure that it's always acting in our best interests?
That's a little unsettling. What if the AI decides to make the game like super difficult or even addictive just to keep us playing?
I mean, those are valid concerns. We have to think really carefully about how we design these systems, right? How we build in those safeguards to make sure that they're not, taking advantage of us.
It seems like we're at this crossroads. This technology could totally revolutionize gaming, create these personalized and dynamic experiences, but it also comes with this responsibility to use it ethically and thoughtfully.
We have to be aware of the risks. We have to have these open conversations about what it all means. And at the end of the day, it's up to us as players and as a society to decide what role we want AI to play in our entertainment. And I think in our lives in general.
So, listener, we've reached the end of our deep dive, but like we've been saying, this conversation, it's far from over. We've explored, the technical marvels, the incredible potential, and the ethical complexities of this whole AI-powered gaming revolution. What will the future of gaming actually look like? What kind of world do W want to create with this technology? Those are questions for you to think about. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep playing.